In today's video, Lindsay and I have a movie review for you.
We watched Maggie Gyllenhaal's new movie, The Bride, and we're going to tell you all about it.
So stick around to find out more. Greetings, spooky people. Welcome to Project Raven. If this is your first time here, welcome, and hello to our subscribers. We got a little something special for you today. We're actually going to do a movie review. We thought this one would be a good one. While it's not goth in itself, it is definitely something that goths like. So which movie are we doing today?
So today we're talking about The Bride for Maggie Gyllenhaal. I believe it came out a week or so ago. I think that there's plenty to talk about here. I think that this could end up being one of those, like, I don't know if I'd quite say Tim Burton level, but a movie that I think we're gonna remember, within our community going forward, I think.
Yeah, for sure. I agree with that. It's a really great movie, which we're going to get into some details. For those of you who don't know, Lynzee is really into cinema and film and movie production and all that stuff. So this is like a perfect topic for us to do. And I'm really looking forward to it. So.
Yeah, I was hoping to start tackling more of these kind of movies on the show, and potentially maybe we could do even more with that. There's, a plethora of films that kind of like touch on the goth subject matter, and I'm sure you can think of a dozen in your head. I'd love to talk about all of them if the demand is there.
Yeah, for sure. All right.
So it is incumbent upon me to lead the discussion this time, as
Yes.
this is my baby of a project, and I think there's no better place to start than to talk about, well, what is the story? What even is the point of this whole thing? And I think you are going to go into the movies maybe thinking it's Bride of Frankenstein meets Bonnie and Clyde, and that is similar. Yeah, I think you could say that, but I think there's a lot more to talk about than just that. What did you think of the story, Raven?
It was actually different than I was expecting it to be. I, not knowing as deeply as you about these things, is I thought it would be kind of a continuation of just Frankenstein, the one that came out last year, the one that we really liked. But it's completely different, and there's no relation at all to them. So.
Squint your eyes, you could maybe imagine that Jacob Elordi from the last one becomes Christian Bale in this film, but
Yeah.
I think it's a real stretch.
Yeah, no, totally different vibe, and it was amazing. I mean, the way it opened up was just so beautiful and powerful and emotional. It's like, I don't know how close we want to get to spoilers on any of this, but it was...
I'm of the mind that anything that happens in the first half an hour or so is not really a spoiler.
Okay.
So, yeah, the opening of the film, kind of a throwback to the original Bride of Frankenstein, is we are getting a monologue of sorts from Mary Shelley, and it really sets the table for what we're going to get in a really interesting way. A lot of really colorful language, as you would expect. And then it comes forward, and we're in kind of like the 30s, which is not exactly when the story's normally set, right? So we're doing something completely new here. And we meet our characters. So we start the action of the film with Christian Bale as Frankie, or Frankenstein's monster, if you want to be pedantic about it. And he is in Chicago. This is a Chicago movie of all places, at least initially, and I thought that was really fun place setting for this.
Yeah.
And he is approaching a doctor about getting a mate, which is something that, as we've seen in previous iterations, is something that he wants. He's very lonely, and, lo and behold, he in fact gets that, the titular The Bride, and as the narrator says right before, here comes the mother friggin' bride, and she sure is. And this is Jessie Buckley in we'll talk more about the acting and the performances, but I'm just like very much in favor of this, and it's kind of like following them as they kind of have their little adventure, and will they, make it as a couple with these crazy kids? What'll happen with them along the way? And that's as far as I want to go because we do want to avoid spoilers, but I think that it's definitely like a really good movie for slumber parties for your youngins too.
Yeah, for sure. The vibe, it's just so good. It starts strong. It's strong throughout the whole movie, I think.
Yeah, so what I think this movie like really excels at, I think, and we talk about the tone for a bit, in that it's like it's got like a maximalist tone to it, in the sense that like every story beat is huge. Like it gives the actors a really good chance to like just fill the room with their performances, and like I gush because I just like I had a really good time with it. And this movie's getting beat up a little bit right now, but what did you think about the style of the film?
Yeah, the style of film. So I think the color grading and stuff. It was a very flat style for the color grading, not like high dynamic range or anything like that. And it's darker film, which makes a total sense for what it is. The cinematography is beautiful and really thoughtful, and well, I think it was well executed from a visual standpoint and a design standpoint. Yeah, I loved it, that aspect of it for sure.
Did you think that the production design and the costume design and say like all of the aesthetic, do you think that really helped to tell the story, to like put you in that time and place?
Oh yeah, yeah, no, for sure. You definitely could feel the '30s vibes to it. I think it was well designed.
Yeah, I mean,
No,
aesthetically, no,
no.
no notes. I think that
Yeah.
they unlocked this pretty well.
I would have liked to see more insulators, in the lab where they
Where
were.
were the insulators? That actually was something, because Raven very interested in insulators,
Yeah,
and watch those movies that were made in the 30s.
yeah. There's actually some really good
Insulators are
ones.
plenty.
Yeah, there's a lot of insulators in there. That would be one of my only note, which is a very niche thing. But yeah, no, very good, very beautiful.
Just say, to briefly touch back on the story, that is maybe where the movie falls down a little bit, in that it's a little kind of all over the place. There's maybe 3, 4 storylines going along at once, and sometimes that can
Yeah.
be a little much. But I feel like it does service the acting of the film, which we might as well get into it and talk about the acting and the characters, because I think that's where this movie really shines. Jessie Buckley, she's having quite a year. I think she's gonna win an Oscar, not for this movie, of course, but it's gonna happen. And she gives a really great performance, both as the bride, and she plays Mary Shelley as well, which is kind of a callback to Elsa Lancaster in the original film. If you don't know, now you know.
Yeah, I was amazingly impressed with her acting abilities, and such a strong actor, and just very dynamic and powerful, and you could feel her words. Very great performance.
She has like, it's like the melding of the performances, because she's channeling this like Chicago era, good time girl in a way, and then at the same time she's grappling with this, Mary Shelley's influence on her, and she has this like, I don't know, it's like, wrestling fans, if you know Timeless Tony Storm, that's kind of what it was given for me.
That's a good analogy. Yeah, no.
Yeah, just a very very haughty English. You I guess love it or hate it, but I loved it. This is the kind
Me
of thing
too.
I want to see in a movie. And I think I would say she stole the show, but there was a lot of other really good performances. I guess Christian Bale as Frankie is like worth talking about. How did you feel about his character and performance?
Very strong. Again, performance. There's no like weak performance in this. I don't think. Yeah, not a perfect match. I think. Yeah.
I thought he brought a really good energy to it.
Yeah, for sure.
Something I really appreciated, he was a flawed man. He was, you know, embattled with like an anxiety disorder, basically. And just like gripped with loneliness, wrestling with his with his morality, rather. And he makes some choices that I don't agree with, but you get why he went that way, and it really serves, to what it is. And Christian Bale, he has a reputation for kind of going off the deep end of some of these performances, but I think this one, it's a good one. I really appreciated him in this movie. Who didn't get a lot of screen time was Annette Bening, who played Dr. Euphronius. I had to look at my notes. She's great. She's the mad scientist of the film, and like, I just wish she was in it more, because love Annette Bening and everything she's in. What did you think about the scientist character?
Another very strong role. I wish there would have been more to the creation aspect, because that's usually they build up to that. And it's a bigger process than this was. It was like, okay, let's do it, and then it was done.
Pretty much.
I wish that was longer. That's my one thing I'd say about that aspect of it. But she was amazing, and again, a good fit. Had the right vibe for the role, I think.
And then let's see, another really fun character we get. Penelope Cruz playing Myrna Malloy. She's essentially like a fiery lady detective character in a this movie is like very like men over everything and domineering women, and like she's constantly talked over and shouted down by every man, but she's smarter than everyone else in the room. And I think that she plays it with such like a sly wit and a gravitas. I was a big fan. What did you think about that character?
It was kind of cool to see. Like I said, not like a main character or anything. Definitely a next level down, but still important to the story. It wasn't
one of those many through lines, as I mentioned.
Yeah, it was a lot. It was a little busy, hit points, but yeah.
I think that like she has a good character arc though, so that it pays off well enough. But if your knock on the movie is that it's a little overstuffed, this is kind of where we could cut that out. Kind of attached to that character was Peter Sarsgaard as Detective Jake Wiles, and it's kind of portrayed like, well, he is the detective in name. She kind of like solves the cases for him, and like he just schmoozes with the boys because no one will listen to her. I was a little surprised by this performance. I thought that he played it very sensitive and very thoughtful, but I kind of low-key thought he was gay, and he wasn't, so I don't know, maybe that's on me. What did you think about the Jake Wiles character?
Yeah, I thought it was a little strange. Like, it's based in the 30s and stuff, and so I get the like, oh yeah, I couldn't have a woman as a detective kind of thing. So he's pretending, like you just said. But it's like, I don't know. That doesn't seem like something that would have happened back then. But maybe.
Yeah, probably not. But I mean, this is a movie about reanimating corpses.
yeah, exactly. It's not a documentary.
So it's not the least likely thing to happen.
Yeah. No, it was cool to see though how he's doing that for her, and it's like, that's really cool. So,
yeah. I think like he has a real moral conflict, and that pays off as well.
It does, yeah.
Bit of a nepotism-ier, married to the director. Just like to dish my gossip, but I thought he's a good actor, so look out for him. I'm gonna mention one other character in the film, kind of more of a background thing that goes along, and that's, speaking of nepotism-iers, Maggie's brother Jake has like a really fun role as Ronnie Reed, who is like this Fred Astaire type song and dance man actor that Frankie's like obsessed with, and that goes to some fun places, I really think. And just like, I don't know, I kind of lit up when I saw him on the screen. What did you think about the Ronnie Reed character?
To me, it wasn't memorable, so I don't honestly even remember that part of the movie. So,
Fair enough.
yeah.
Now, I'll mention at this point that Raven has never seen Donnie Darko.
No.
And so, like, if we're gonna go into some more of our like goth movies, Donnie Darko is kind of up there, starring young Jake and Sister Maggie. Maybe we'll get to that in the future. All right, so that's the acting. I think that's where the movie like really sinks. There's some other performances here and there. There's a mobster subplot that kind of goes throughout the movie that you get your typical kind of mobster guys. Not a whole lot to report on there. I think they do their jobs.
Yeah.
Some cops get kicked around, like you do. I guess after the acting, the place I'd want to go to is briefly mention the direction of the film. This is Maggie Gyllenhaal's second movie. Her first movie was called The Lost Daughter. It's a character drama from a few years ago. Check it out if you're into that kind of thing. I thought it was wonderful. This movie's a departure from that, to say the least, because it's so fantastical. It's very science fiction, and there's some crime and action elements, and the pace of the film, like, we're kind of all over the place. We got these nice little dialogue scenes, and then there'll be a little bit of fun action, and then a dance sequence here and there, including what I would regard as maybe an early kind of nod to a goth club in the like underground Chicago.
Yeah. Honestly, yeah.
I had a lot of fun with that. As far as like directing goes, I guess I would say is like, do you feel that the movie kind of has like a vision, like it has an identity of what it wants to be?
It does, but it gets busy with the multiple storylines.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's kind of where I'm thinking too. Like, it's the main storyline is really strong, but like then we kind of start overstuffing a little bit, and by the end of it, I was really satisfied with the main thing, and the rest of it, I was kind of like, well, did I need it as much? No, but it was almost like having extra toppings on the pizza for me, and so that I was like really happy about, like, there's a plot line that kind of does like a Joker take on things, in a good way. I'll leave that for you to see, but I feel like there's just lots of iconic stuff about this. Do you think this could be like an iconic movie with goths? Do you think we're gonna see this look in the club?
Oh yeah. No, you definitely will. It's gonna definitely be part of our. I don't know if it'll be craft level, but it'll be up there. Or the Crow.
The Crow.
The good one, the original, not the new one.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be down to review the first film, but the other four, not so much.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, when you bring up the Crow, the Crow had immense staying power. At least in the clubs around here, there were still Crow guys.
There was, yeah.
10, 15 years later.
Yeah.
I don't know if like seeing people with the Bride, like ink stain will be a thing, yelling brain attack, and just that could be a fun thing to look forward to, or maybe that doesn't happen, but
yeah, I think it will.
I think it'd be fun.
I think it will. I mean, the movie definitely is appealing to goths, I think.
It was appealing to us, to say the least. If you were going to put a star rating on The Bride, where would you put it?
Yeah, so I'm incredibly picky about giving out high star ratings. Like, my favorite movie, Back to the Future, has a 5, and then not much else does. There are some in there, like Gypsy 83 and The Craft.
Talk about that one.
We're gonna
both
definitely.
of those.
Oh, we're gonna definitely talk about those. But not much else. But I gave it a 4.5. It really touched me. It was really emotional. It was 4.5 on letterboxd, just in case you use that.
Yeah, which we are both on.
Yes, yes. We can put our links in the bio or the description below.
Yeah, I'm No Life Lynzee everywhere you can look for that.
And I'm Project Raven on there. Yeah, no, I'd say solid 4.5 because it really, really hit me and it was really emotional to me. And it was, I love as like a, to me, it's like a love story and it's just beautiful. Both aesthetically and story, and even though we had some nitpicks, but that's going to be always the case with anything. But no, absolutely 4.5 for me. How about you?
Oh, yeah. 5. I am in love with this movie. I mean, that was the impetus of me wanting to talk about it for 20
Yeah,
minutes
so good.
and ramble on. But it is just a really fun, excellent movie, and I really want to talk about it because it's bombing really hard right now. And,
Yeah, I don't
you
get
know,
that. Yeah.
financial success doesn't equate, quality of a movie, and, some critics don't like it, and that's fair, I understand that perspective, but I think it's worth a look at least, and you can decide for yourself if anything we've said will influence you to see it, or you're like, hell no, I don't want to see that. They just described the worst movie. Then that's also a good review. In my mind, like, this is like such a creative movie. It goes places and makes choices that you don't see in a lot of movies nowadays. As much as I loved Frankenstein, the Guillermo del Toro adaptation from last year, and it was my favorite, goth or goth adjacent movie, I'd say,
Yeah.
of the year. It's also a really safe movie for a studio. They don't make it is a straight adaptation.
Yeah.
Good, but there's probably 100 adaptations of this material, maybe more. I mean, Thomas Edison made one. This one is gonna stand out because they take it in new directions, and to me, that's what cinema should always strive to do.
Yeah. No.
Take my word for it. Take our word for
Yeah.
it.
All right.
This is worth seeing.
It's definitely worth seeing. Yeah, I agree. I liked the Frankenstein movie from last year. We did pick it as our favorite of the year, but this one I love more. Like you said, it's unique, it's special, it's different, and it's so amazing. So we definitely recommend it. So go see it. We'll probably be buying it on UHD Blu-ray when it comes out. If it does, hopefully it does. It might not.
Oh boy, yeah. I
That'd be
mean,
sad.
nowadays with physical media, you can't really be for sure.
Yeah.
I suppose, and this is a Warner Brothers film, if that matters to you. So there's a lot of, uncertainty with that. But yeah, definitely, I want to go see it again.
Oh yeah, we'll definitely see it again for sure.
I loved it.
Yeah, it was amazing. So go check it out. Hopefully you like this review. Let us know what you think in the comments. If you want to see us do some more movies, or if you have suggestions or movies you'd like us to review, we're happy to do that. But yeah, but that's all we have for you today. But now, Lynzee and Raven must fly. See you in the next video.
Brain attack!